Holy shit. Holy shit, my volume's loud. Hold on. Alright. Well, alright, we're back at it. So we're back at it with the Rockets franchise. Um, so we picked up in the offseason. I actually didn't end up making any trades and doing all that stuff and then going back to show transactions. I haven't touched a single thing in the team since we last got Joel Embiid. Um, all I did was look at the trade market for like 5 minutes, and I saw the Zeke Naji trade where we get Malcolm Brogdon in a draft pick for Zeke Naji. A backup point guard is the only position we really need, and I think getting a former Rookie of the Year as well as some more draft capital is probably the best move at this point. Because if you look at our team, we're fine at center. We're good at power forward because we're going to resign Tari Eason, so Zeke Naji's not that important. We have two small forwards, shooting guard, we're all set, and backup point guard's the only eh, hole, if you would even call that a glaring hole in our roster. And that contract is very tradable come time later if we want to try to trade for another point guard, if we want to try to move Malcolm Brogdon and draft picks. So that option's going to still be there. We still have $32 million in hard cap, so we should have plenty of money to get back Tari Eason, and we can sign a guy for the mid-level exception. So we're going to take this Malcolm Brogdon trade. We're ahead of the draft. We do have 3 draft picks, and we have a 13-man roster. So once we re-sign Tari Eason, we will have 14 men on the roster. So, oh damn. So the only real thing left to do is we only really need to draft one guy. Okay, wait, never mind. It says we have 13 guys, but we're gonna move Gillette. We're gonna lose Gillespie and we're gonna lose Gates. So never mind. So maybe we won't have 13 guys. We'll have 1, because you're on a team option. 2, 3, you're on a team option. 4, 5, you're on a team option. 6, 7, we're gonna resign you. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So maybe I will trade up in the draft. Oh, I mean, I guess I could just draft 3 rookies and a second rounder. I guess I could just do that. Just draft our bench, basically. Cameron Boozer goes 1. Cool. Yeah, well, we don't have a top pick, so the 5th pick is being traded. All right. Who's getting traded for the 5th pick? So Tobias Harris and pick 5 for Larry Markkinen and a first. You know, the value of that trade's kind of questionable because Larry Markkinen in past franchises has been traded for like the 13th pick of the draft. So I guess you could argue that they overpaid in a way, just based off the original 2K standards. I don't know too much about this draft specifically, so I'm just gonna be drafting 3 guys who fit my roster. Kelly Oubre in the first is being traded for pick 10. It's right on. Good for you, New York. Ooh, Memphis is on the clock, and they will be trading pick 15. So Memphis will trade pick 15 for Marvin Bagley and pick 31. So the first pick of the second round. Miami is moving pick 16, and in return they're getting Josh Hart in a second. That's a good value for pick 16. If you can get Josh Hart, that fits most rosters pretty well. I didn't even read what that trade was, but good for you. Um, Two-way pushing. So future-wise, picking up and/or Boateng would make sense because we could lose Cam Whitmore or OG Anunoby. I'm looking at where we are hard cap-wise. It doesn't look like we're going to have the bird rights to sign everybody. So getting a replacement forward would make sense. So we'll take and/or Boateng. I could trade pick 23 for a first round pick. Because I don't really need to draft too many players anyway. A future Lakers pick and this year's second. Maybe. I could just take 2 first from the Thunder. I mean, those would just have more value, so I'll just do that. And that will help if we want to make a trade with Malcolm Brogdon's contract down the line. So sure, we'll do that. And then with pick 26, we can draft. I've drafted King Fleming before. I mean, an additional point guard would be the option. It's just not King Fleming. Jackson Shelton Two-way mid-range threat. It's kind of like a Stephon Marbury. Sure, why not? And then with our pick in the second round, just draft an additional big man, I guess. Michael Wuso, he's an option. Uh, Jackie Howard. I wonder if he's related to Jet Howard. Um, Aaron Mustafa Dice. Mustafa Dice. Mustafa Dice could be kind of interesting. Uh, Kind of like a Nate Thurman type player. Okay, what do you like? You're also like a Nate Thurman. You have a B minus defense. You have a B defense. 7-2 out of Central Florida. You're already upset. You haven't even been drafted. Two-way interior defensive threat. I'm going to take Mustafa. I'll take Mustafa out of Central Florida. So Shelton's a 69 overall, Andor's a 74, and Mustafa's a 70. We'll take all three of them. We'll take all your team options. Trey Young is hitting free agency. Tari Easton will offer him the qualifying offer, absolutely, because he's the only guy we have bird rights on, to my knowledge. This controller's being kind of annoying. I'm going to offer you a 5-year, $21 million a year contract. Yeah, Tari Easton's playing good. I would like to keep him around. And yeah, we'll let those guys walk. Basically, all we did was sign Tari Easton. I think we still have a mid-level exception, no? It's $13 million. So we have $13 million to use for a mid-level exception. I think we have a 15-man roster now, right? No, we don't. So we can use the mid-level exception on one player, and that could be up to $13 million. I mean, Mitchell Robinson fits the team very well, but we can't afford him. So backup center for now is fine. For the future, Mustafa could become a backup center, so Andre Drummond is just here for this season. Tari Easton's locked in as the backup 4, and he could become the full-time starting 4 if we ever decide to move on from Julius Randle. So options are there. We also have the contract of Xavier Booker. OG Anunoby, it's up to us if we want to move on from him down the line. But if we can keep him on a stable contract, I don't mind re-signing him. Cam Whitmore, it's all going to depend on if he wants to resign or not, because last time he said he was pissed off, but now it says he's joyous. So if he stays joyous, we'll happily resign him. If he wants to leave, he can leave. That's his choice. Reed Shepard. The whole point of this franchise was to build using Reed Shepard, and I understand he's been off the bench, but he's been one of our best bench threats. So we'll keep him around. We have a young Jackson Shelton. For now, our backup point guard's Malcolm Brogdon. If we do need to move on from him, then that option could be brought up then. But for the meantime, he should be fine. So we have a backup practically at every position. So just the best value player we can get in case of injuries is probably the best route to go. Like, Terry Rozier doesn't even fit our scheme. And we definitely can't afford him. Yeah, other teams are paying him more money. We can't afford Terry Rozier. If we could, I would have been interested in him. Yusuf Nurkic supposedly is a great fit to our scheme, and we can afford him. I wouldn't mind getting Yusuf Nurkic. We could get someone like Nurkic, and then we could trade Drummond down the line. That might be the route to go. Marcus Smart also fits our scheme pretty well. The Knicks are offering him a 3-year deal where he makes a lot of money. So having that defensive guard is kind of the route that this scheme is built around. I would like Marcus Smart, but I don't think I can get him to sign here with me. Wow, CJ's here. That's crazy. CJ off the bench would be kind of interesting. Right now, Nurkic makes the most sense to me because I wouldn't mind making Nurkic like our full-time backup center and then just moving on from Andre Drummond. Because we only have Drummond for one season anyway. Yeah, I'm going to just sign... I'm just going to sign Yusuf Nurkic, I think. Once upon a time, I wanted Nikola Vucevic, but for this team, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So that's just something that I've come to the realization of. I'm gonna say Nurkic would make a lot of sense if we offered him a 4-year. What's that? 4-year 50. All right, we signed Yusuf Nurkic, and that's gonna be the only. Yeah, it's gonna be the only signing we can make because now we have a 15-man roster. But we also have all these draft picks we can offer in trades, and then we can try to make something work for our bench and or potentially getting another starter if the opportunity comes around. Like we could offer Julius Randle. Um, we could offer Julius Randle, Drummond, and like a package of firsts, and see if there's any option of us getting anything good for that. Like, we're not going to give up Julius Randle for nothing. Andre Drummond right now is not necessary, so if we wanted to swap Drummond, another bench player, and picks, we could. But we're not going to give up Julius Randle just for Kobe White. That wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Kristaps is good, but, like, do we want Kristaps next to Joel Embiid? We could. It's an option. Let's see. We could still get Bam. We can get De'Aaron Fox. All talented players. This trade would be very, very interesting. We could get Jarace Walker to back up Tari Eason, and we can get Miles Turner to be a backup center. That would be wild. Bradley Beal as a backup too would be interesting. We could finally do that Karl-Anthony Towns trade. We could get Scoot Henderson and Pat Will. And in this case, Pat Will would be the backup power forward for Tari Eason, and Scoot Henderson would be the backup one. That would just be ridiculous. That'd be a ridiculously good team if we did this trade. But he's on the last year of his contract. That's the only reason why he's coming up in trade, I'm assuming. Because if we get rid of you, Tari Eason's the starting four. Your heart's in Houston, so I don't really want to get rid of you right now. But this would be the trade I would take. Because Pat Will would be the backup forward to Tari Eason. Scoot Henderson would be... He might actually be the starting point guard, and Amen Thompson might become the sixth man in that situation. Scoot Henderson of the G League Ignite. I don't hate it, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking. If we accept this trade, then Amen Thompson is the backup point guard. And then Tari Eason is the full-time starting four. And then Pat Will is the backup four. That's what happens if we accept this Julius Randle trade. He did average 18 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He didn't shoot the three ball very well. He's not a very high net positive for our team, though. Tari Eason is. Xavier Booker's a 7. He only played like 2 games. It seems like Julius Randle's been the most for our roster. So if there is a trade where we get Scoot Henderson, probably should consider it. Did the Hawks lose Trae Young in this scenario? No, they got him back. But it's really funny because I gave them this Tim Hardaway Jr. contract to deal with. There also was that Jarace Walker trade where Jarace Walker would be the backup 4 for Tari Eason, but then Miles Turner would be the backup 5. That would be kind of weird. Any situation where we get better at the guard position now, I am somewhat of a fan of. Like, your shooting splits are so good, and to get Pat Will as a backup 4, losing Julius Randle is not like that big of a deal, and losing Andre Drummond also doesn't really matter because we have Nurkic as a backup 5. The only problem is we're not going to be able to afford to bring back Scoot for how much money he's going to want. So we have to fully commit to the idea of, do we think we're winning the championship this year? Which, given our roster, I could imagine we should. I think Tari Eason's also capable to be a full-time four. He's developing well. We have him under contract for 5 years. He's a net positive. He shoots decently. Plays decent and well defense. I mean, I have every reason to think that this trade is smart. Yeah, that's the trade. I'm going to do it. And I did it. So now the whole Malcolm Brogdon move doesn't really matter. And if we're doing bad, then we just get rid of Yusuf Nurkic. I called him Yukik. He pulled up from Yucatan, that's why. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about doing the draft right now. I'll load it in later if we have to go another season. I'm expecting that this is the last season. I'm hoping, at least. We'll run a 10-man. We should have an even amount of players at every position. Amen Thompson at the 1, Donovan Mitchell at the 2. Anunoby is our 3 for some reason. Over Cam Whitmore? Yeah, having Anunoby guard the better starters would probably be a smart idea. Tari Eason's the starting 4, Joel Embiid's the 5, Henderson's the backup 1, Reed Shepard's the backup 2, Cam Whitmore's the backup 3, Pat Will's the backup 4, and Nurkic is the backup 5. And off the bench in case of injuries, we have Brogdon, we drafted Indoor Boateng, we have Xavier Booker, Jackson Shelton, and Mustafa Tice. This is the best I think that I can do at trying to make a win now team. Miles Bridges in a first for Reed Shepard. As sweet of an offer as that is, I'm gonna have to decline. The whole point is to win with Reed Shepard, so no. Cam Whitmore for Nick Smith Jr. in a first. If Cam Whitmore won't re-sign with me, I will look to trade him at the trade deadline because he is coming off the bench anyway. So if I can't get him to stay, then yeah, getting rid of him is the only other option. And if Yusuf Nurkic plays bad, then we'll look to get another backup center. We're struggling against the Mavs, which is interesting because they don't have Luka. He retired a few episodes back ago, which was really weird. He ended up getting a season-ending, not a season-ending, a career-ending meniscus tear, which in the realm of 2K I would have thought would be kind of rare, but I mean I guess not. But to be fair, in the majority of franchises that I've done recently, a meniscus career-ending injury doesn't seem to happen often. And we put up 166 points on Phoenix. That's interesting. I'd like to see what happened there. No, we're not trading Scoot for Jarace Walker. When we do a Pacers franchise, we'll worry about the fact of why Jarace Walker doesn't play better. We'll worry about that then. But 166 points on Phoenix is crazy. Donovan Mitchell has 25 points. Joel Embiid had 24, 8, and 6. Tari Eason dropped 23. Amen Thompson's the one with the triple-double with 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists. Our point guard got 11 rebounds. How about that? Cam Whitmore in 21 minutes got 19 points and 5 rebounds. Anunoby had 17 points. Henderson had 15. Reed Shepard even had 10. He missed some threes, but it's okay. Yusuf Nurkic had 8, and Pat Will had 4. That's good. I like what I'm seeing. We lost by 30 to Utah, though. Does Utah have some built different team that I wasn't ready for? Oh, Utah has Kyrie. That's interesting. Oh, and Paolo. So Paolo and Free Agency decided to go to Utah to team up with Kyrie. A Kyrie Paolo team sounds very interesting. Not one that I would ever expect. Hmm. How's morale on the team? Is everyone happy to a degree? You're uncertain. You know what? Let's be nice. We'll run a 13-man rotation for just a little bit. I need to turn down my audio. It's killing my ears. Holy crap. That's a little bit better. Alright. Any contract negotiations that want to be made? Anunoby's ready for an extension. He wants about 24 a year. Yeah, okay. It seems reasonable. For how good of a defender he is, 24 a year, I can live with that. Alright, so who's a free agent that I have to worry about paying? Cam Whitmore. He's elated, so he'll probably want to stay if that's the case. He could be shooting better. Yeah, he definitely could be shooting better. He's shooting kind of bad from 3. Houston's where you want to be. He wants the extension. Cool. We'll work towards trying to keep him around. I don't think we can even keep Scoot around. It's an unfortunate thing, even if he did want to stay. He's leaning towards free agency. That's not that surprising. He is indeed a good point guard, but he's off the bench anyway. He's putting up 15 points, 4 assists. He has great shooting splits. He is playing really good. I just don't think that we can actually keep him around. That's the unfortunate part. At the moment, everyone who's actually playing is doing a good job. So, yeah, at the moment, nobody's really hurting us. So we're going to just look to keep the band together. If we were, like, losing a bunch of games, I would look to try to make some some trade deadline moves, but this team looks fine. I mean, they should be fine. Evan Mobley's cool and all, but I don't think that's the move I'm really looking for at the moment. I will say this though, if we are going win now, I wouldn't mind the idea of potentially shopping Malcolm Brogdon, who isn't playing anyway, or potentially shopping Scoot and letting Malcolm Brogdon play. I think that might be the best idea, actually. Since we might lose Scoot for nothing anyway if we don't win, maybe, and this is just a solid maybe, we run a 10-man rotation. Let me try a few games without Scoot playing. Let me see if we're as successful with Malcolm Brogdon. Which I understand if you take out Scoot, you're making yourself worse. But if we play just as successful with Malcolm Brogdon, then I'm not going to worry about trading Scoot for whatever package we can get. If we're playing significantly worse, however, I will obviously just keep Scoot Henderson and accept the fact that we're trying to win a ring. And if we don't, then we might just lose him for nothing. I'll give it like another 5 games. This sample size right now. The last 3 games, I ain't even counting it. We'll see how we do in the next 5 games. If we do good in the next 5 games, then I'm okay with trading Scoot. If we do bad, then I'm gonna keep Scoot. All right, that's 3 wins. That's 4 wins. We still lose to Utah, so Kyrie and Paolo are still giving us problems. But we did better this time. And then we lost 2 games after that. Okay. Now let's go back to the starting lineup. And no more Malcolm Brogdon. Put in Scoot Henderson. I mean, obviously, we won a lot of games with Scoot Henderson, obviously. Joel Embiid's tired, but he's only playing 29 minutes a game. So I'm a little curious about why he's so tired. But it's okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Can we beat the Thunder? That's a big question. Oh, yeah. If we could beat the Thunder, I'm keeping Scoot. Yep. All right. I'm keeping Scoot. We beat the Thunder. That's my biggest roadblock to trying to make the finals yet. And I lose to Trae Young. All right. You know what? It happens. Who's on that team? I will stop just in case. Is there anyone who wants to leave? Is there anyone who's pissed off at me and doesn't want to be here? Yada, yada, yada. You're hated because you're in the G League and you feel uncertain. Well, that stinks. Jackson Shelton, you're heated. Well, I don't need you then. I don't need bad morale on this team. Malcolm Brogdon, how'd you play? Uh, you're in the negatives. Okay. Well, I like Brogdon, but he's not helping. Also, Nurkic isn't even helping that much either. So, Brogdon, Nurkic, and picks for whatever good backup center we can get. And then we'll just trade the other guy for anything, really, to be honest with you. Literally anything. I don't even care. We could get John Collins. John Collins always gets so pissy, though, in these franchises. Yeah, we're just going to scout the center position. We have about $20 million we can use between trades. B-Ball Paul is still here. Deron Sharp is an option. John Collins 25 mil is the kind of ideal salary range for the trade that we can do. Hmm. Vucevic. I remember once upon a time I did want Vucevic. I might just offer a trade for Vucevic anyway. Rebounding, mid-range shot. I mean, 45%, 33%. Not that much better. You're a better free throw shooter. You do that in 21 minutes a game. What's your defensive stats looking like? You got about half a block, about half a steal and a block. Yeah, more or less the same. I wouldn't mind getting Vucevic. In fact, when we first started this franchise, I wanted Vucevic in Houston. You don't want to take on extra salary? How about you get a Thunder pick? All right, we traded for Vucevic, and then we can trade Brogdon and no, I'll keep Brogdon actually, and then we'll just trade Shelton for whatever pick we can get. Ideally, a trade for picks would be nice. Jericho Sims, T.J. Warren, Bubble God T.J. Warren could be interesting. Lamar Stevens, Edmund Summers. Ooh, the defense of Dorian Finney-Smith could be interesting. I do like Javon Carter. If I'm keeping Malcolm Brogdon, I don't need Javon Carter then. So Dorian Finney-Smith will do. So we're giving up our young guy who's heated. We're getting some bench veterancy in Dorian Finney-Smith. And that's going to be that. So we have Brogdon, Boateng, Finney-Smith, and Xavier Booker all off the bench just in case of injuries. And now Vucevic is our backup center. And I can't actually resign any of those guys to the offseason, our rookies. So Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Scoot Henderson, whichever one of these three guys that we do end up with, Amen Thompson's the most important one. Cam Whitmore we would love to keep if we can. And then Scoot's going to be the odd man out, but he's just here for us to try to win a ring. That's the only reason why we have Scoot. So I'm not going to stress over the fact that Scoot's here right now. I know I'm probably going to lose him for nothing because due to the hard cap, I won't be able to resign everybody. But, all right, couple losses, 3 losses to be exact. But it's okay. We held up against the Thunder a little bit. That's still going to be the biggest thing is trying to beat the Thunder. We're going to have to shorten our rotations, and we're going to have to hope for the best. Because we might get an upper 50-win game season, but we still have to deal with